in this episode.
In a fear state, we worry so much about a bad thing happening that we can almost like create that. People not spending time to think of, who am I as on a human level? Who am I? And what do I want to do in this life? Because we think we have forever, but time isn't slowing down. When you have a life purpose, it's your why. Why am I doing this? Why is this important to me? And then when life gets hard, you can always go back to that. And that'll help you keep going in the most difficult moments. I was life-flighted into a coma and woke up with a traumatic brain injury. And this experience in itself wasn't painful, but years following, I had experienced nerve damage from that accident. And the moments of pain and suffering have promoted the most growth and transformation for me, because they've brought me to my knees to teach me a lesson and to teach me more about what it means and feels like to be a human. Being who we are is the greatest gift. Just being honest and open is the greatest gift.
Today we have someone special on our podcast, Lauren Fields, a life coach, TEDx speaker, and clinical psychology master student. Lauren, what do you do and why it's important?
Sure. Thank you, Dmytro and Mariia, for having me. It's an honor to be here. As said prior, I'm a life coach. And the way I like to explain to people what I do and what this means is that I help my clients define who they are, what they want, and what's holding them back. And I think this is important because to me, this is the formula for turning dreams into reality.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure for us to have you. And I was happy to got your message via Instagram when you texted me, hey, maybe let's have a podcast. And then I saw that you're also a TEDx speaker. And I think you're the first TEDx speaker to whom I talk personally. Yeah, so it's a great opportunity. And we have checked your website, and you mentioned on your website that you help women to unlock their full potential. But how do you define full potential? What does it mean?
Sure. So I define full potential as the vision we have for ourselves that seems just a reach away. And so there's an exercise I want to do with you and for the listeners to kind of help you envision what your full potential could look and be like. So take a minute and close your eyes and imagine a world where anything is possible. Now, envision yourself in that world. What do you see? What does that feel like? What does that version of you go after? What are they doing? What goals are they able to achieve? Do they have the same career? Do they have a different career? What is it that they're doing kind of in this vision that you may not be doing in real life, but you want to be doing? And hold on to that vision for yourself. And for me, that is what it means to define your full potential. It's just in a world where there are no limits, where anything is possible, what are you doing in that world? And then how can we find a way for you to actualize and become that version of yourself?
For me, should I keep this thought?
Yes, please share.
Yeah, I just, like what you describe. Have you ever played Sims? The Sims game.
I have
but
not.
You know the idea. idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I played Sims a lot when I was a kid, and so in this game, usually like they have like a triangle above their head. It can be different colors. So green, it means they're happy. Yellow, it gets worse. Red, it's crucial for their health and mental health. And there is also silver one. and the silver one means that they're on their full potential. And you kind of win when your persona, the like creature, gets the silver triangle for a very long time. But for me, it was, always ideas that sometimes we get this kind of inspiration or wave of positive, extreme positive emotions that we try to hold it, but it lasts few minutes, few hours, and then it disappears. Like with this vision, because once we get it, but then something happens and we are lost again. How to hold this?
Right. How to hold the vision. I think a big thing that I believe in is writing that vision down. Putting your thoughts onto paper, giving it life on paper, and then making a plan as to how you're going to get there, and then starting. So much of us, our fear can be paralyzing. We're afraid of, what if it doesn't work? What will people think of me if I go after this? But once you start, you're going to be presented with new information and experiences that are going to help you get there.
Yeah. When I try to imagine this perfect world where everything is possible, I recall this film, Matrix, and I imagine myself like being Neo, the main character, and he understands that it's Matrix, and when you understand that it is Matrix, you kind of open your full potential. You get out of the Matrix, and you can fly, do wherever you are able of. But for me, it probably took more time to understand like what I would do, because right now probably my potential is opened probably on for 10%, but I don't know like what's the limits of my potential at the moment. And I'm kind of struggle with opening up it fully. Like I'm thinking of these guys like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, this kind of personality have huge potential, right?
And I think a huge part of that is their mindset and their belief in their ability to create. And so I think a tip I would give is to spend some time thinking, what is it that I want to create, that I want to become, and then sit with that and spend time meditating and envisioning yourself as that, and then taking the steps to get there.
By the way, regarding meditation, do you meditate?
I do. I meditate. I try and meditate every morning when I wake up for 10 minutes. A big believer in visualization. There's something about the mind that it will start to believe that is your reality if you start envisioning it for yourself, and that will then begin to manifest in your real life. So I'm a huge believer in sitting with a vision, but I also do a lot of work on journaling and writing about what I want, and like spending time feeling what that feels like, envisioning it, and taking the steps. And I think in that whole process, you start to narrow the gap between where you are and where you want to be, because this is becoming such a big part of your daily life, the process of working towards where you want to go.
Yeah, but like some people struggle with understanding what they really want, because there are two type of people. Let's say one of two. It's let's say it's Elon Musk, person who always kind of pursuing new goals, big achievements. And there is a monk who is just satisfied with his life, and he's meditating, and he's satisfied with having less, but he's just completely in peace with his body and mind. And I wonder, like, what's the difference between the potential of Elon Musk and the life potential of that monk? Like, what's the difference? What do you
I
think?
think it depends how you define life potential, and it goes into, what am I going after, right? They've both gone all in on their specific thing, whether it be a monk or an entrepreneur. What is it that I'm focused on? What is it I want to achieve? And that's 100% tunnel vision on how I'm spending my time. So there's no right or wrong approach or method. It's just going in full pursuit of whatever it is you want for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
They just have their vision in their mind and they don't copy anyone. They have their mission potential. Maybe like for Monk, it's not visible regarding his potential, but all his development goes inside, not what we see launching the rockets or cars, but launching something inside.
That the inner work and the energy a monk has and can share to help others can be just as powerful as what Elon has done with Tesla, with SpaceX, with Neuralink.
Have you ever heard about such ideas that visualization actually can make harm because our brain thinks, okay, if we think about this all the time, it means that it has already happened, so why to make it happen? That when we visualize something so strongly, our brain doesn't distinguish is it real or not. So it feels that it has already happened and we don't need to work on that. Have you heard about this? And if yes, what do you think?
So I do believe in the power of the human mind and in visualization. And oftentimes in a fear state, we worry so much about a bad thing happening that we can almost like create that exact event happening. So I would say be intentional about the way you're thinking, because it's possible that that's going to become your reality. So do I want to be thinking bad thoughts? Do I want to be worrying? Do I want to have fear? Or do I want to choose again and instead replace that fear-based thought with a thought that is a more loving, positive thought about where I actually would like my life to go?
Like this is called the law of attraction,
Similar
right?
to law of attraction, yes, exactly.
Considering the woman's nature to care about everything and everyone but not themselves, it's quite challenging to choose your needs first to prioritize yourself. What could be the steps you can recommend for a woman who has children, has 9 to 5 job, and Dmytro told me that it was exactly the situation for his mom, right?
Yeah, so I can actually add, my mom, she is really humble person. She works a lot, and sometimes she just forget to give her time for herself, just to relax, chill. She always take her work home and work more hours than she should. She does this, cooking for her family, and she works a lot, and I'm really sad about her because she hates her job, but still keeps working the same job. She's 45, and I want her like the best, but I understand that her mentality, her mindset is different,
Right.
and she just got used to what she has right now.
So often we want to change someone, or we want better for them, and we want to take them there and show them the way. And that's indeed part of the process, but they also have to want to choose differently or choose better for themselves. And as women in this day and age, we believe and wholeheartedly can do so many things and say yes to so many things, having a career, being a wife or a romantic partner, being a good friend, getting in the workouts, like the list can be endless. And it's so important that we acknowledge the importance of self-care and recognize that taking care of ourselves is not selfish, it's necessary. It's like the oxygen mask on the airplane. You need to secure your own mask first before helping others. When you prioritize self-care, you'll show up better in all areas of your life. And so I think to take a moment to realize how important it is and how it's only going to benefit you in everything else that you do. And when you have that realization, maybe you'll realize, okay, it's really important for me to set some self-care goals. You know, what are some things I'd like to do or achieve in the coming weeks, months, or a year? And let me write those down. And once I break down the steps, let me put time in my calendar, even if it's just 15 minutes a day, where I'm going to focus on this one thing that will improve my overall well-being. And let me put that in the calendar. And if that means I have to go to bed 15 minutes earlier so I can wake up 15 minutes earlier, I'm going to do that because this is important for me, because it's going to improve not only my life, but the lives of everyone around me.
Yeah, I will have a talk with my mom.
So be
about
intentional
this.
about how you approach it and how you explain it, as this isn't an attack on you. This is not only going to help you, it's going to help all of us because you're going to feel better.
Yeah.
And if she takes, more time for her self-care, she may even enjoy her job more. Everything is connected.
Maybe you should book her a massage session or spa session that at the beginning she will have no choice because it's a present from her son, but then she will understand, oh my God, it feels amazing.
Yeah, I would ask maybe what's something you've always wanted to do that's, self-care related. Do you want to go to a yoga class? Do you want to have a massage? Do you want to go on a nature walk? What is something that you see she could use in her life that maybe she's not doing, and gift that, and then that opens the door for the discussion.
Yeah, it's a really good point. But I think it's like her surrounding is quite difficult.
Yes.
She lives in a small village and there is nothing much going on.
Right.
And the number of different activities for leisure, for everything, is quite limited to almost zero, I would say.
Well,
yeah.
This is on you to be creative and open your mind and believe. Believe. You need to meditate and do an exercise of visualization here. Get creative. There's always a way.
Yeah. Lauren, I have a question regarding life purpose.
Yes.
Is it important to have it in life?
Is it important?
Is it important to have it in life?
I believe it's important. I think our life purpose is what we want to be known for. So for me, a life purpose is what makes me jump out of bed in the morning, because I'm so excited to go work on whatever I feel my purpose is in this world. How can I be of service, and how can I use what I love doing to help other people? And I believe we're here to find out what that is and then give it away to as many people as possible so we can improve the quality of everyone's life that we encounter.
Mm-hmm. Do you think more people live without life purpose or more people live with life purpose?
I think it goes back to what we were talking about, is people not spending time to think of, who am I as on a human level? Who am I? And what do I want to do in this life? Because we think we have forever, but time isn't slowing down. And so it goes back to spending time thinking on that. And I think the life purpose can be found at the intersection of, what am I good at? Like, what are my talents? And what am I passionate about? And right at that intersection where those two meet, I think that's where you can find your purpose. And, I don't know if this is something we're born with, or this is something that develops over time with different activities and life experiences. And it's possible this could change over time. I think life purpose can be, it doesn't have to be concrete. This could change over time, and it's found at a different point in time for everyone. And there's no magic formula. But as I said, focusing in on, what am I good at? What are my talents? And what am I passionate about? Or what do I enjoy doing? And where these two things intersect, I think that's where you need to focus. And it's often the activities where we just completely lose track of time because we're just lost in the moment, enjoying exactly what we're doing. And okay, how can I create more of that feeling in life?
Yeah, I want to add one thing about life purpose and
Yes.
life mission overall. Like during one of my trip, I met a few people with a very defined life purpose, life mission. Like one guy was a military guy, and he was super resolved. Like he was sure that being a military person, his life mission, like to serve in army, and he was so actually convinced in doing this. And another guy who was quite religious person, he just was super sure that his life purpose is to serve Jesus. And for me, it's quite impressive because when you know your life purpose, your life mission, like life is getting easy because you know what to do in life.
And another
Right?
thing with this is when you have a life purpose, it's your why. Why am I doing this? Why is this important to me? And then when life gets hard, you can always go back to that. And that'll help you keep going in the most difficult moments. It's because you understand and you feel called to do something. So even when it gets challenging, I can pick myself up and keep going because I know the reason why I'm here.
Yeah. So to summarize here on this on the topic of life purpose, we can say that to find one, you have to understand what you are passionate about, what are your talents, and what else?
What you enjoy doing. Well, yeah, what you're passionate
What you enjoy.
about. Exactly. So what you're good at and what you're passionate about. Talents and passion. And think about those
Okay.
things.
It's interesting because like we have lots of discussion with Dmytro when we just call each other to talk regarding the topic of life purpose, and we both from marketing field, from a bit different areas, but just marketing or launching advertisement or content creation, copywriting. It's all about this.
Yeah.
And we both worked in the field of health, nutrition, wellness. And we came to this topic, we came to this field of work, not just we chose it randomly, but because it's our passion. Because we just want to bring our skills, knowledge, and solutions to the topics, to the field that makes somebody's life better. And then we understood, okay, we just want to build probably in the future too all our lives around this topic. Maybe it will change in the future, but marketing was just a way how to reach this field, because I don't want to work in fashion. I don't want to work in I don't know, agriculture, but I want to work in a wellness industry. And for now, I choose this goal just through marketing side.
And here we are finding a way to share our passion and our purpose with the world. And I think that's a beautiful thing that podcasting allows you to do, to share your message.
Yes, exactly. Lauren, once I read a phrase which sounds like this: men grow through pain and suffering, and women grow through love. Do you agree with this saying?
Not quite. And I'll tell you why. I think men and women can both grow in an environment where there is love and support. That's the foundation for growth, is to feel loved and supported, and that will help anyone grow. But the moments of pain and suffering have promoted the most growth and transformation for me, because they've brought me to my knees to teach me a lesson and to teach me more about what it means and feels like to be a human. So I think challenge provides the most opportunity for growth.
For both
For
men
men and
and
women. I wholeheartedly
okay.
believe that. I think maybe sometimes men can endure more pain and suffering than a woman, but I think ultimately I don't wish for anyone a life without any pain or suffering, because in those difficult experiences, that's when we really learn about ourselves. You know, why am I feeling pain? Why is this difficult for me? What does this mean? What's showing up for me? Maybe there's a part of myself that I need to heal and I need to pay attention to because this really affected me. And if we're not
Yeah,
confronted with that, we're just coasting through life. Life isn't always rainbows and butterflies. It's important that we also get to know the parts of ourselves on the stormy days as well.
yeah, and I guess if you experience pain and suffering in life, you will experience happiness and joy in a more wide way
Yeah.
because you have this comparison of what is suffering
Yeah.
and what is true joy and happiness, right?
Exactly. Then you come to appreciate those moments, the happy, joyous moments even more. And you realize life is full of so many different emotions and moments and states of being. And no one should be better than the other. I'd welcome them all because they'll all teach you something different about yourself.
And regarding the pain, it's a very important topic. What is the most painful physical or mental experience you have ever had that you're grateful for?
Sure. So when I was a teenager, I was in a horse accident and I was life flighted into a coma and woke up with a traumatic brain injury. And this experience in itself wasn't painful, but years following, I had experienced nerve damage from that accident. And I went into an 8-hour tendon transfer surgery to help with the nerve damage. And at the time, I lived in a 4th floor walk up in New York City. I was in a foot cast for over 6 months healing from this. And this was one of the most painful experiences of my life because I just wanted to rush the process of healing. Life was really difficult in this moment. I felt like everything in my life just stopped. And I couldn't go, nothing felt normal to me. I was just in this space where I had to heal. And that's all that mattered. And I just wanted to rush through it. And it taught me so much about being present with yourself and loving yourself no matter what you're going through, because that's ultimately what's going to get you through the most difficult situations.
How did you calm yourself down? Because it's so often happens to many people worldwide. It happened to me, like not going to very such painful situations. But for example, when people get sick, they got cold, they need to slow down, stay in bed. Sometimes they have some injuries, operations, and it feels that all the happiness is turning away from them, from us, that we need to stay at home, that we need to stay with just ourselves, and it feels like prison for many of us. We just try to avoid ourselves. We try to avoid just time doing nothing and thinking about ourselves. Maybe do you have any recommendations?
I do. And I think it's part of the reason I've been called to speak on this subject is because looking back, I see how so often we try to resist our reality. We resist what we're going through. We resist what sometimes we can't change. We don't have control over. So instead of resisting, I suggest you look at this as an opportunity to figure out, how can I enhance the quality of my life in this moment? How can I use this moment as an opportunity to focus on something else in my life that I maybe wasn't focusing on before? So what I ended up doing is I dove into self-empowerment and personal development. So I started reading countless books on wellness, and I was like, how can I stabilize myself during this time? How can I stop trying to run from this? And what can I teach myself? What skills can I develop in this moment when I'm stuck at home, when I'm in bed? And it's what got me passionate about speaking on this subject. It's what got me into wanting to pursue health and wellness coaching. And so I think it was the start, it was the catalyst for all that my life has become, was that most painful, difficult moment.
Yeah, I watched your video when you were given TED Talk, and I really liked the part when you mentioned when you were actually recovering and you have no choice but to actually just lay on the bed. You just started to read a lot about psychology, wellness, and it's a perfect example like how you can adapt to the current environment and situation and just do what you can do.
It's up to you. No one's going to save you. You need to want better for yourself, and you need to take control of your life, how you spend your time, who you want to become.
Yeah, amazing. Lauren, I know you have obtained a life coaching certification from the Coach Training Alliance, as well as health coaching certification from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. And I want to ask, what does a life coach do, and what is the difference between life coach and therapist, let's say?
Sure. So there's definitely some overlap, and the overlap is wanting to help others achieve a better quality of life for themselves and to heal some of their past trauma so they can show up fully in this moment. But I would say a life coach assists individuals in setting and achieving personal goals, focusing more on the present and the future. And therapists are licensed mental health professionals trained to diagnose and treat mental health conditions. So, life coaches typically do not focus as much on mental health conditions as therapists do, because therapists have been trained specifically to diagnose and treat mental health conditions.
And how to understand that, yeah, right now I need a coach, maybe not a therapist, but a life coach, a personal coach, and how to choose the right specialist, because the amount of specialists is instantly growing and growing. It's constantly growing.
How to choose the right coach. I would first, you think of, okay, what exactly do I need help with? Is it career? Is it a life coach? Is it a relationship coach? So then I would start there, focus on the area, then do some research in that area, see what coaches, maybe you're like, okay, here's a few coaches who specialize in this area. Which of these coaches do I feel like has the specific experience that will help with what I am looking to achieve from this coaching? And this is determining a good coach client fit. Do I think it's going to be a good fit? So then maybe you reach out to a few of these coaches, you have a sample session, and oftentimes you'll just feel like I am inspired by this coach, what they've done, what they've achieved, and the way that I feel in our session is so important. And I think that's what you can use to kind of find your best coach.
Do you recommend only offline sessions, or do online sessions also work?
They both work. And I think in this day and age, you're seeing more and more online. I prefer in person because I think the energy exchange is more powerful when you're in the room with someone. But I think what it comes down to is just how committed is this client to improving their life, and how committed are they to the work we're going to do together. And that's ultimately what's going to predict the change. It's a two-way street. The coach and the client have to be in it. They have to be focused, and they have to be committed to the outcome.
And how do you recharge yourself after sessions with your clients, after all the energy you give to them? How not to lose everything inside you?
Sure. So this comes back to the self-care. And I have a really strong foundation in that, which I learned a lot through my health and wellness coaching at IIN, is how I first have to take care of myself so I can be in a space to hold energy for other people who are going through it. You know, oftentimes clients will come in crying and they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And my goal is to shift them. When that person walks in the room, I want a different version of them walking out, a person who feels empowered, who feels like their heart is open again, who feels like they can see the light. And it's a lot of energy to hold in a room, you know, and to move someone through that. And so my whole practice is based on my ability to have such a strong foundation in myself that I know that I can hold space for that. And so that comes back to getting enough sleep, getting the right nutrition, sticking to my daily workouts, listening to the books and the podcasts that make me feel stable and alive. And so it's, you know, it's all part of the work.
Yeah, I think life coaching right now is becoming more and more popular, and maybe many people have a desire to become a life coach. But when you're actually looking for one, how to actually maybe there are some common red flags when you're having a first session with this life coach. Maybe you can somehow tell that they are not that qualified, not really a good fit for you. Like maybe some common red flags.
You know, so I worried when I first I was for a while, you know, I started this journey, the coaching journey a long time ago. And for a while I was worried, you know, will I do it right? Will I be able to help people in the way that I want to? And I wanted to compare myself to other coaches. Like, how do they do it? Will I be able to do it the exact right way? There is no right way. There is your unique way. And that way is not going to be for everyone. So I would just say, you know, you'll know, is this coach, are my sessions with this coach helping me? Is this a good fit with this coach or not? And I think that's the ultimate telltale of whether or not this is someone you should be working with. Each coach will bring their unique skills and talents and life experiences to the session. And whether or not that
Yeah.
will help you, that's going to be a case by case basis.
And
Yeah.
regarding the topic of nutrition, could you please share with us your journey, your opinion while studying in the Institute of Integrative Nutrition? For us, it's also like personal story because we are interested in this school institution. So what are your thoughts on it? Does it worth all the efforts studying there?
I would recommend this program to anyone who is interested. This program is what got me started, you know, in the coaching industry. And I think it was such a great foundation because when you think of health and wellness, so often you just think, okay, if I eat, you know, a salad for lunch, if I eat a healthy breakfast, salad for lunch, and then maybe like protein and veggies for dinner, then like I'm a healthy person.
Right now, I want to make a quick pause. As many of you guys know, I used to have severe acne condition. Right now, my skin is not perfect. Sometimes I'm breaking out, get acne scarring and pigmentation. And I can get upset. I'm just a human being. And the tool that helps a lot my skin and mood is red light therapy, especially this red light therapy LED mask by Current Body. I use it over 6 months and what I have noticed. My skin feels glowing and acne scarring fades away much faster. Additional bonus, it was scientifically proved that LED light therapy helps with our mood, especially during these dark days. I use this mask or in the morning or in the evening, depends on when I have time. It takes just 10 minutes to care about your skin. If you want to try this LED mask by Current Body, I have 15% discount for you. My code is Mariia with double ICV. Also, the link is in description box.
But it goes so much more beyond that, right? Health and wellness can be, you know, described in our relationships, our finances, our fitness, our nutrition, our spirituality. There are so many elements. And there's no one size fits all. For everyone, this is going to look different. Figuring out what you need and your own recipe for achieving peak health and wellness is referred to as bio-individuality. So for every person, this is going to look different. And that's one of the biggest things the program taught. And it gave you all the information you need to understand that for yourself. And so I think it's a really valuable program.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I guess the ultimate goal of every coach is to get the person from point A to point B at any specific area. But do you think like everyone should have the certification, or a life coach can just become anybody who has adequate amount of experience, which is relevant?
I think it's going to be a case by case. There can be, I'm sure, a coach who's gone through a program and someone who's spent their whole life not in that program, but focused on health and wellness. And they could be just as great of a coach. But I would say this certification for anyone looking to become a coach who has knowledge in health and wellness, this is a great place to start.
Mm-hmm. And you as a life coach, do you feel the need of another life coach for yourself sometimes?
I do. I have a coach. And I think, many therapists have therapists. It's how you learn. Not only, and if you're a coach, that means you believe in the ability to coach someone, right? And you believe in coaching. And so I have a coach. Think of a sports team. Think of a sports team without a coach. And a coach helps you win at life. A coach helps you achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve. So yes, I definitely believe in having a coach.
Yeah, amazing.
I think another thing related to this is so often we have so much that we keep locked inside of us. And it can become toxic if you don't let it out. And so to having someone you can talk to about these things that isn't biased and that doesn't know everyone else in your life is a really healthy way to release and create space for new things that you want to create in your life.
Yeah, you mean to start being more vulnerable with people?
Yes.
Ability to open up, yeah.
I think it's healthy for us. We need a way to release our emotions and our thoughts. And so to have a coach, you can talk to your coach about, here's what's been coming up for me. Here are thoughts that I don't want to be having that I can't seem to get over. What are your suggestions? How can we work through this so we can create more space in my body and mind for what I really want to be creating in my life?
That's the reason for me why I created my Instagram page back to the end of 2019. I had my page, but I didn't share anything personal. But then I had very crucial moment in my life when I had when I got severe acne condition, when my face was fully covered with painful acne, and I had at the same time nervous breakdown from many things around, and I was locked. It was in Kiev. I was locked at home. I didn't want to go outside, and I didn't know how to communicate with people because I was broken mentally and physically on pieces. So I started writing in English. So to the strangers to express everything was what I was feeling. I was posting my pictures with acne, with scars. I didn't care about the feedback. I just wanted to let it out, let it go. And that's how my post became viral. Didn't ask for that, but pictures with severe acne and videos, they became viral, and I got lots of support and feedback from the strangers all over the world.
So, and aren't you glad you shared? You were vulnerable and you shared, and you you weren't even asking for help. You're just saying, this is what I'm going through and this is really hard for me. And then people can relate to you when you're vulnerable.
Yes.
We think we have to be this perfect person and present only like rainbows and butterflies and just like the highlight reel. But what's relatable is life is hard right now. this is what I'm going through. And you'll be surprised to see so many other people are going through the same thing and they don't have someone to talk to about it, but now they have you because you were brave and you shared what you're going through.
Yeah, absolutely right. Like when we meet new people, and at the first meetings, people show all these paradise lives, like everything is great, they're successful, life is perfect. But we don't want to hear the stories, right? We want to hear all the truth. And already from like I already got used like to share my true side. I don't try to pretend that everything is perfect. I share how it's going on, like how it is. It's my true life. But many people are not ready for the truth. They're not ready for their personal truth, that somebody can actually accept their vulnerable side, and they're not ready to listen to other people's stories. That's a problem, I think, in our modern world.
One of my favorite quotes by Rumi goes, "When will you begin the long journey into yourself?" And I think once you do take that journey and you go in and you figure out, who am I? What do I want? How do I want to help other people? Then you realize it's not about proving anything. It's just about being you. And I think the greatest gift in life is just to live in your truth and not to act in a way of, what will this person think of me? But instead, I'm just going to be me. This is who I am. The right people will stay, and if someone doesn't approve of who I actually am, and they don't want to be part of my life, that's fine. We're not for everyone, but being who we are is the greatest gift. Just being honest and open is the greatest gift.
It's a life purpose for everyone.
Yeah.
To be who they are.
And it can be difficult. Life isn't easy. It's not easy sometimes.
Yeah, but I think it's quite challenging to start being who you really are, because like the way our parents grow us, they always kind of try to say that we should care about what other people think. And when we grow, it's hard for us to act the way we want because we care too much of what other people think. And they wonder if there are some kind of maybe exercises, practices that can actually help you to put aside the social chains and actually act the way you want.
Sure, but I challenge that with this question. Is it easier to be authentically you and live in your truth, or to present a facade with a mask on that you have to maintain because you're presenting a version of yourself that you think other people, your parents or your friends or your colleagues want to see, which ultimately is going to be easier?
Well, it's hard to say. It seems like it's comfortable to not be that different, but sometimes still you have this kind of. I have this thought that I can be something more than who I am right now.
And I think where the magic is that difference of what makes me unique, what makes you different, and how can I focus on that, because that's going to take you from where you are to where you want to go. Is not dimming that light, but turning it all the way on, because we're not all meant to be like someone else. We're not all going to get to the destination the same way someone else did, because we've had different experiences and no one else has lived the life we've lived. And that's what makes us unique. And that's how we get to use our own approach, or our own special essence to share with the world, that people will be interested in, because it's different, not because it's the same.
And
that makes it more interesting if it's different.
True.
What would you say to people who faced many obstacles last year? I think previous year was a difficult one for many people worldwide. How to encourage people not to give up and see some optimism, find some optimism inside in this year?
So I think so much of this is going to come back to mindset. And I get that that's hard to hear when you're feeling down or depressed. But I would start with trying to shift your mindset from being a victim of your past, because you can't change the past, but become the creator of your future. And you can start by accepting exactly where you are without trying to change anything. Accept exactly where you are. Even though it might not be where you want to be, you have to first accept it in order to be able to change it. And realize that you are enough in this moment, exactly as you are. And you start to care for and love yourself without wanting to change yourself. And then you can just start from there. You know, this moment isn't a life sentence. As time goes on, things change, you get new information, you go through new experiences. So don't feel so stuck. Realize it's going to change. And it all starts with you. So start making a plan on, start, who am I? What do I want? Where do I want to go with this? How do I want to help people? How do I want to show up in the world? And just start, day by day. Doesn't need to overwhelm you, but just accept where you are in this moment and write down everything you have to be grateful for that's happened so far in your life, and write down again where you want to go and start working that plan.
Yeah, I love it. Accepting where you are right now and start building from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not stuck. It just once you start, you'll feel the momentum. New things will start happening. But just start anywhere, somewhere, doing anything. Read a book, send an email, send a text message, share your idea with someone, share your challenge, share how hard life is right now with someone, because then you can get it out and you can release it.
People don't like asking for help.
It's true. But it doesn't have to always be help. I need to share. I need to, do you have a minute to listen to what I'm going through? And you never know, the person you share with may have gone through something similar and really be able to have one little piece of advice that could help you, but you have to be open to it. Or else you're just keeping yourself imprisoned when the door is right in front of you to open and walk out.
True. It's like I share it with Dmytro that it would be great to have a podcast, but I'm so scared to launch it. It's too much for me, too much pressure. I don't know how to handle that. And then he told me, let's do it together. Why not? And here we are.
Amazing. It's so true. It's just starting. Whoever you are looking up to as a mentor, or like, wow, I'd love to be where they are. At one point they were exactly where you are, but you know what is different? They started and they figured it out. And we can't compare ourselves to where they are. Just start where you are, but start. And then think of how proud you'll be that you started a year from now, compared to if you didn't start, you'd still be sitting in the same place. Whereas now you have all this experience, and think of how much you've learned because you started.
Yeah, exactly. Like a few days ago, I checked a video of one YouTuber who has right now around 5 million subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
And I scroll all the way down to see what was his first video, like 8 years ago.
Yes.
And it was just, very bad made video from the gym,
Right.
very bad sound quality, very bad lighting, like everything very mediocre,
Mm-hmm.
But he just started, and I just compared. Yeah, I just compared the way he was speaking in that video, the first one, quite uncomfortable, quite shaky camera,
Right.
and all those things. And the latest one, and it's such a huge difference.
Yes.
8 years difference, but he was doing it almost like every day, consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And here he has results like 5 million subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
It's impressive for me.
Starting, and it's how we learn, is just by starting and doing and practice and repetition. And I think another helpful point with this question, for anyone who's feeling down, who's realizing some of the best days of our lives haven't even happened yet. And so to get excited for what those are going to be and get yourself in a space who's ready to enjoy those moments, because otherwise life will pass you by in this state that you're in. You need to find a way to get excited about life again, because then life's going to present you with more exciting opportunities. So think about creating that energy for yourself, because that's only going to benefit you.
Yeah.
And
I think
and it's also about curiosity. The thing that really keeps me for many years, my curiosity, what is going to happen next. Because I got health issues or skin issues, or I had no money, I had nowhere to live. And it was just, writing a book or creating a movie, but being the main hero of this book or this movie, and only you're responsible for it, it's super hard. It's exhausting and you want to give up. And I was losing my life purpose many times. I didn't see the sense of living, why does it happen? Because there is so much pain in this life. But then the curiosity just to see what's going to be next keeps me. Maybe it's for some people it works as well.
To think of, I am the main character of this movie, of this book. I'm turning the page. This is the first page of the next chapter of my life. How do I want that to go? Am I showing up as the hero of the story or the main character that I want to be showing up as? If not, how do we want to change the story for ourselves? How do we want this to go? If it hasn't gone like we wanted it to, let's create a plot twist and be more intentional about this next chapter and step back into the writer's seat of our own story.
Yeah.
I decided that it's going to be our title, be a main hero of your story.
I love that. It really it's
Yeah,
such
very
a good way
one.
to look at it. I want to hear more about how you cleared and healed your acne, through sharing, but what did you change to clear your skin? Because it looks so beautiful now.
Sure.
It's a really hard journey for you.
Yeah, it's a very hard journey, and thank you so much for asking this. So I started to get acne when I was teenager, 13, 14 years old. Maybe the only one in the class, maybe even at school. So it was very vulnerable situation for me and stressful. I felt ashamed of myself. And then I started to implement everything as a teenager, usually skincare, some topical treatments, going to dermatologist, cosmetologist. Nothing didn't really help, so it was better, it was worse with acne, with ups and downs. And I'm this type of person who likes experimenting on myself. Sometimes it goes too much and extreme. So I started to learn a lot about veganism, about nutrition, and became a bit obsessed with detoxes, with all these cleansing protocols. And I was doing this with a great purpose to help my body to clean, because sometimes you read from the book that you have acne or any skin issues from parasites. And I started to believe that because nothing was really working for me. So topical treatments didn't work. I was on birth control, also prescribed not for birth control reasons, but for acne. I had also problems with my menstrual cycle, and decided, yeah, probably it could help. And you can find specialists easily. If you are determined to this purpose, you will find this specialist. Yeah, and I went on a serious a cleansing protocol. At the same time, I moved to Germany. It was in 2019, and I was I moved alone by myself, so didn't really help support, and I had extremely stressful job. So the detox went super wrong because you're not allowed to have any actual stress on that, because it's already extreme stress for your body, but plus in your country, you're alone there. So my body didn't manage with everything. Before I had like middle stage of acne, then my skin just got worse every day, and I got severe stage of acne that I just couldn't watch in the mirror without crying. It was literally getting worse every single day, both on my face and I got body acne, and all these experiments with my health. It was very bad idea, but it was my journey. And then after that, I quit my job. I went back to Ukraine, started recovering, found another specialist with all these trials and errors, went to not extreme naturopaths, specialists who just want to detox you and to tell you just be vegan forever and eat nothing, but who checked all my overall body condition. I was on supplements, found some cosmetologies like to improve my skin. So it made like 50% of change at that time. My skin really got better with all the supplements, enough protein. I was lacking of protein, B12, iron, vitamin D, like lacking of everything. Like vegan
Deficiency.
nutrition was not for me at all. It just made my health and skin worse. And later, I was really consistent with skincare, everything, but unfortunately, I didn't have remission. So, for example, it was just extra stress, not too much, but just stress, or extreme temperatures during the summer, plus 40 degrees Celsius. And so my skin was breaking out again, not so strong, but I understood how it was affecting my mental health, because new acne meant new acne scarring. You told me that you also had acne, so you really understand
Yeah.
how it feels. So I was consulting with two dermatologists, and they told me, both of them, that I should go on isotretinoin, Accutane. I don't know if you have heard of
Yeah.
this medication. Yeah, and I was on isotretinoin for more than a year. I started in Ukraine, finished in Germany, and what can I say? After like 6 months after, I had clear skin, but then I started to get breakouts again. Not so strong, but it's like for me, Accutane was not the final solution, and I still want. Like I already got to once again to a dermatologist recently, and he told me you need to go on Accutane again, but I don't really want. I want to choose another ways like traditional Chinese medicine,
Sure.
acupuncture, maybe, or just to consult with different doctors before starting Accutane journey again, because it's
Yeah.
super harsh
Yeah.
on
I've
my
heard it's
body.
harsh. I have friends who've gone through Accutane 2 or 3 times. And,
Wow.
now their skin, now they don't get any breakouts at all. But I know that can be a really difficult process. I had like cystic acne on my chin, like feel like
Mm-hmm.
boulders, and it's so
Mm-hmm.
painful. There's no way to get them out because they're just like underneath. And that was when I was working a stressful job as an executive assistant in New
Oh.
York City. And so a lot of mine was stress related, but also a low dose birth control and spironolactone. And then like blue light treatments. I don't know if I'll send you a couple tools that I use, a radio frequency wand and a blue light. And that helps with the bacteria and the skin. But I know how much it can affect your perception of yourself, and how you see yourself. And I'm just happy for you that you're seeing more clarity on your skin and that you're finding progress with this journey, but it's a lot.
It's a lot. And it's so kind of unfair that women struggle with that more.
I think they do, but also it's given you purpose, right? And something to learn and to teach and to help other people with.
Yeah. And you mentioned blue light therapy. Yeah. For now, I have red light therapy at home. So like maybe I will try blue light therapy too. I know like it works.
I have a mask that's red and blue. So I'll send you if you want to link it.
Yeah, my mask was only red. Now I need blue.
We need it all. There's so many interesting tools nowadays.
Yeah, like not mentioning gua sha, like just the beginning gua sha, just the first level.
And Dmytro, you have been on a serious weight loss journey.
Yeah, first of all, like I can't even imagine what you experience, you guys, with acne, because I didn't have acne only my teenage year, so I don't have much to say about this. I can only imagine what you have to go through. But yeah, I was obese like my whole childhood, almost, and at my probably when I was 18, my weight was around 100 kilos. So I was quite heavy back in the time. So yeah, for me, what was life changing, actually moving out from my parents, because all my family are obese, family member, and for me it was crucial actually to start taking other food habits than I used to from my parents. And when I started to live alone, first in dormitory, I started to eat differently. I started to experiment my diet. I met some people who were into sport, and I saw that if they are doing sport, maybe I should also start doing this. And I started doing this kind of activities, jumping on the rope. First, it was quite painful. I remember my first attempt learning how to jump on the rope. I was jumping quite a lot, but with my weight, it was quite hard because I felt huge pressure on my legs, on my calves, and sometimes the pain was so actually severe that I couldn't even walk.
Wow.
But it was actually temporary. Then it got better. It got better. So yeah.
Do you think it was, the way you were eating with your family, genetics, or like what do you think had originally caused the obesity? And was it just you getting out of that environment that made you see you wanted something different for yourself?
I think there are several aspects. First of all, yes, genes, because my family members are also obese. Second is my environment. I was eating the way my parent did, so I thought it's normal, and I didn't have any awareness of what is actually healthy eating. What should I eat? I wasn't even curious about nutrition, so I was just enjoying my times there, living with my family, and eating what they eat, and just enjoying the food.
And you feel a lot better now in your body?
Oh, right now, I think it is a peak of my physical performance.
That's amazing.
Right.
And
I feel like every year is I feel younger.
Yes, I love it. I love the endorphins you get from working out.
Yeah, I just love it.
I'm going to boot camp later and I feel like I'm in a nightclub. It's treadmill and weights. And I just feel like I'm on top of the world when I'm in that room and when I walk out of it. It's so also great for mindset and mental health.
Exactly.
Yeah, like this, it's better than any club, like than any party, like just to do sport.
Yeah. It's really, you're saving yourself by moving your body every day. Now that your family sees you, do they want your secrets on how you got in shape, or they're just content?
Yeah, I must say that they started to eat healthier.
Ah, look.
But for some reasons, their body don't change as much, actually.
Maybe they're not doing maybe it's the jump rope. Maybe they need to jump.
Yeah. I try to encourage them, especially my father, because he is, I guess, 176 centimeters height, and his weight is around 120 kilos.
Okay.
So it's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tried to help him with his nutrition. He even started to count calories, which is quite unusual for
Wow.
him.
Yeah.
And he got some results, kilograms.
Yeah.
But then he just got discouraged.
Also, the problem because of the age, when people get older, like it's
harder
difficult
for
to
sure.
lose.
Yeah,
Right.
especially if you're not doing it in an early age.
Right.
When I'm going to the gym, there is a person, a guy. He is 60 years old, and he's been going to the gym. So first of all, I was quite impressed by his physique because he has very explicit body structure. Muscle structure, and it's quite noticeable. And once I asked him, like, what are you doing for your training? And he said, like, I've been training like for 40 years. So
Right.
going to the gym became just his lifestyle.
It's a
You
life.
can imagine his life without this. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a routine. It's a lifestyle. It's the foundation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right now, like in this year, I don't know how it will last, but for me, like sports, it's a routine. But usually I did sports like 3 times per week, and it was 1 hour routine now. I try to do sports every single day, but not so long. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, usually maximum in the morning. And I'm feeling amazing after that because it's like I even don't need to think that I need to do sports and plan it. I just do it without any inner dialogue.
It's so true. Even 10, 15 minutes of stretching or yoga will make a difference in your day. It doesn't have to be an hour cardio, just some sort of movement.
Exactly. 10 minutes every day for 2 years, and you can be, you might be doing splits after this, eventually.
True. I don't know if that'll ever be, hey, I'm going to think that it's possible for me to one day do the splits. I'm trying now to do some yoga headstands and handstands. And
I saw on Instagram.
Yeah, that's a lot of core work. And it's also just feeling confident being upside down.
And you're doing that in a very smart way. So you had the supporting, I know how to, mini chair, because I don't want to try it alone at home when there is nobody and just without any support.
It's scary. You can injure yourself. So yes, I purchased a yoga headstand tool, and it supports your shoulders and your head. And now I've advanced. I've tried to do it without that, but I'll use the wall behind me or a bed behind me in case I'm afraid of tipping over the opposite direction,
Yeah.
I already feel so much more confident in my ability just to do it, just because of spending some time hanging out upside down.
Yeah.
You've been doing this.
It's just starting again.
Because I wanted to ask the benefits, like if you see any difference, like from doing this.
That wasn't why I wanted to start it. I just wanted to start it as like something I'd like to incorporate into my practice. I do a lot of yoga, and oftentimes in yoga classes, they'll encourage you to get up into your headstand or handstand, and I've always been fearful of it. But I know there are benefits. I don't have those on the top of my head, but I know there are benefits.
Yeah. I mean, if you believe, there's benefits in everything.
I'm a believer. It's where it starts, right? You have to believe in yourself and your ability to do something.
Okay, I guess we had a great conversation, and we learned quite a lot from you, Lauren.
I did as well. I'm so thankful. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, thank you a lot as well. If you enjoyed this episode and want to stay updated with our future content and support what we are doing, don't forget to give it a thumb up, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss our latest episode.